How do I manage my feelings of negative self-talk or tilting like it's the main thing keeping me from really making progress? So I think the negative feelings, there are usually three reasons why we get really negative feelings, just most people who play fighting games. So the first reason is you're disappointed in yourself, where there's something, for example, you practiced a combo a bunch in practice mode. You get into your match, you land the hit, and you drop the combo. You know you can do it, but then when it really counted, when it really came to apply what you've practiced, you weren't able to do it and you feel disappointed in yourself. I think that's one of the most frustrating ones because it feels like the work you put in isn't really rewarding you. But I think it's important to not get sad about that and just realize that maybe you need a little bit more time, not in training mode, but actually applying that combo in a match. And that's what I think over here Battle Hub is really great for. It gives you a lot of opportunities to practice a concept or idea without the fear of having to lose points or ranking down or anything like that. And you get a long set, which means you get so many different times to try it. So that's the first one, when we are disappointed because we're not living up to what we believe we can do. The second reason why we get really frustrated is a really simple one, where we think something is really cheap or really unfair or really overpowered. And sometimes that's warranted. Like, there are sometimes really cheap things in fighting games or really overpowered stuff. But compared to older fighting games, I think the cheap stuff is a lot more manageable in modern fighting games. And some of it, like a lot of the times when we think something is like really cheap or really dumb, it's just because we haven't actually labbed the counterplay to it. So that just means maybe you need to get some more knowledge and you need to kind of develop more counterplay and counter strategies to not lose against the same thing over and over again. And then the third reason is because we're putting too much value on numbers or ranks that really don't matter, right? Like if you're, I don't know, Mena, and you're trying to win $1 million at a big tournament, and you go 0-2, you lose in pools and you're out, yeah, that's something to be sad about, right? Because you lost a lot of money, that's your livelihood, you practice all day, like this game is basically your living, this is what you live off of, and it's really important. But for 99.9% of us, whether you're Rookie 1 or you're Legend 1, nothing really changes, right? Like, you're not making money to be Legend. You're not gonna be getting sponsors just because you're number 1 on the online leaderboards or anything like that, right? So don't put too much value in rank and getting points or losing points. If you lose, you lose. If you win, you win. Like, your life doesn't really change that much. Of course, we all have our goals. We all want to get better, and it's upsetting when we are trying to get better but we can't. But just remember that at the end of the day, it's not that big a deal. So you shouldn't worry too much about the points. What you should do, however, instead of getting those negative feelings, what you should do is try to make something like an actual plan of attack and actually identify ways for you to improve in your game. This way you don't keep on losing to the same things and you won't get frustrated. Right? There are so many examples. Like if you're dropping combos, practice your combos more. Like if you're losing against a certain character, go online, try to ask people, figure out the counterplay, try to do that. And going back to my boat thing, just try to patch a hole in your boat and become a little bit better every day. I think it's much better to choose a single little thing to work on than just being like, I want to get better. Saying I want to get better doesn't really help you identify what you get better at. Right? And I think doing those things will kind of lower your frustration. I kind of felt like I rambled a bit there, but I hope that made sense.